Expert, financial bubbles. They're one of the most powerful and honestly destructive forces in our economy. They're a story about hype, about fear, and really just about human psychology. To get to the bottom of them, we need a couple of different perspectives.
Right, and that's where I come in. I'm the one seeing the headlines, I'm seeing friends suddenly get rich, and I'm just left feeling, well, like I'm being left behind.
And that's the exact feeling we're going to unpack. We're going to dive into what a bubble really is, how it gets started, and probably most importantly, how you can see one coming before it's way too late.
So this is the question that literally keeps me up at night. Every single day, there's a new thing, right? A stock, some new crypto, whatever it is. And all I can think is, if I don't get in on this right now, am I going to regret this for the rest of my life? Am I making a colossal mistake just by sitting on the sidelines?
Well, that feeling you're describing, that's the fuel. It's the engine of a financial bubble. So to really get it, let's just forget about all the complicated charts and the jargon for a minute. Instead, let's just tell a simple story. It's about some monkeys, a bunch of bananas, and how something as basic as a piece of fruit can spiral into a total collective mania.
It always starts out so simple. A monkey buys a banana for one leaf. And why? Well, to eat it, of course. The value is obvious. It's direct. But then, a new, much more powerful idea starts to creep in. What if this banana is actually worth more tomorrow?
Wow. Okay, so that escalates fast? I mean, going from 1 leaf to 100, that sounds completely insane for just a banana. It is insane, and that's exactly the point. You see the shift? At 1 leaf, the banana is food. At 10 leaves, it's suddenly a financial instrument. And by 50, it's an absolute craze. The monkeys aren't buying bananas to eat them anymore. They're only buying them because they truly believe some other monkey will pay even more for it later. The price has completely disconnected from what a banana is actually for.
So, what is driving all this insanity? Well, the first and, I think, the most powerful force is FOMO, fear of missing out. Monkeys aren't buying because they did a deep dive analysis of the banana market. No, they're buying because they see other monkeys getting rich, and they are absolutely terrified of being the only one left behind with nothing.
Oh man, I feel this in my bones. You see a friend who got in early, and suddenly they've paid off their student debt, or they're putting a down payment on a house, and the only thing you can think is, that could have been me. I saw it happening. Why didn't I do something? It's just a gut-wrenching feeling. And that feeling? It pushes you right into the arms of the second driver, herd behavior. When you see everybody around you doing the exact same thing, in this case buying bananas, your brain's survival instinct just kicks in. It registers all that activity as a signal of safety. It feels like the right move, the smart move, even if deep down you know it's totally irrational. It's monkey see, monkey do, but, with your entire life savings on the line.
So these two forces, FOMO and herd behavior, they cook up this really dangerous feedback loop. More monkeys buying pushes the price up. That rising price then seems to prove that buying was the right decision, which of course attracts even more monkeys. And the loop just keeps repeating, on, creating a price chart that looks less like a normal investment and a lot more like a rocket taking off.
Okay, I get it. I see how people get swept up in this and lose their savings. But how does this kind of thing become truly life-ruining? I mean, the kind of crash that people just don't recover from.
That happens when you add an accelerant to the fire, debt. Or, in the world of finance, they have a fancier name for it, leverage.
Leverage is really just a fancy way of saying you're using borrowed money, usually the bank's money, to make much bigger bets than you could afford on your own. And when you hear about people taking out loans or using credit to buy into some hot new asset, this is exactly what they're doing. On the way up, it feels like a genius move because it just magnifies all of your gains. The huge problem, of course, is that it also magnifies your losses.
This really lays out the danger perfectly. I mean, look at the left side. Without any leverage, you invest 100 leaves. The price drops 10%. It's a bummer, for sure, but you still have 90 leaves left. You survive. Now, look at the right. This time, you only invest 10 of your own leaves, and you borrow the other 90. That same tiny 10% drop is now a complete catastrophe. The asset is worth 90 leaves, which is exactly what you owe the bank. You are totally wiped out. Your 10 leaves are just gone.
That is terrifying. Just a small dip in the market and you can be completely wiped out. So
I mean, this can't just go on forever, right? The price can't just keep going up and up. What happens next?
No, it can't. And the pop is usually triggered by something incredibly simple, a return to reality. At some point, enough monkeys look at this banana that costs 100 leaves, and they just remember, you're supposed to eat it, and it is definitely not worth 100 leaves. That single, simple thought, that's the pin that pricks the bubble.
And then, just like that, the psychology completely flips. The fear of missing out instantly becomes the fear of being the last one holding the bag. All that greed turns to pure panic. And the same herd that stampeded to buy in now stampedes for the exit.
And the crash is never a gentle decline. The first wave of selling makes the price drop. That drop immediately wipes out all the leveraged investors, the ones who borrowed money. The banks then force them to sell whatever they have left to cover their loans, which of course pushes the price down even further, even faster. It creates a death spiral. The very same leverage that made the boom so explosive now makes the crash just as violent.
It just sounds like a total bloodbath. So after all that chaos, who actually comes out okay? It can't be that everyone loses, can it?
No, not everyone. But I can tell you the list of winners is much, much shorter than the list of losers.
The winners are a pretty small group. They're the ones who got in really early and, this is the crucial part, they sold to all the latecomers before it all came crashing down. Or, ironically, the winners are the people who were probably made fun of for not participating at all. They just kept their savings safe. The losers, well, that's the vast majority. It's the herd that bought in at the absolute peak, totally fueled by FOMO, and especially those who use debt. They're not just back to square one, they're deep in the red.
Okay, this has been incredibly clarifying and also, frankly, terrifying. Which I guess brings us to the most important question of all. How do I avoid this? How can I spot the hype and not get swept away by the mania?
There are some classic red flags you can always watch for. When your Uber driver or your barista starts giving you stock tips, maybe be a little cautious. When you start hearing about people taking out loans or maxing out their credit cards to invest, that is a massive warning sign. And if you ever hear the four most dangerous words in finance, this time it's different. That's when it's time to be extremely skeptical.
And this right here is the final critical distinction you have to make. Not every new, exciting thing is a bubble. Some are genuine breakthroughs. The key is to ask yourself, what is the underlying value? A breakthrough, something like electricity, it solves a real-world problem. It has tangible utility. In a bubble, the main use of the asset is simply the hope that you can sell it to somebody else for more money. That's not investing. That's pure speculation.
So the next time you feel that pull, that intense fear of missing out, just take a breath and ask yourself one simple question. Is this a genuine breakthrough that has real-world use? Or is it just a bunch of monkeys trading bananas at higher and higher prices, all just hoping they aren't the last one holding on when the music finally stops? The answer to that question? It could save you from financial ruin.